I don't like romance. I never have. And it's something that I've thought a lot about why I don't like romance. Because generally when people say they don't like romance, that's rooted in some form of misogyny. And if my dislike for a romance is rooted in some internalized misogyny, that is something that I would like to address in myself. But I don't think it is, because I don't judge people who do like romance. It's a perfectly valid genre to like. And I never have judged anyone for it. Like some of my best friends in high school loved romance, would devour romance novels, and I didn't think I was superior to them because I read fantasy and they read romance. In fact, I was just really impressed that one of my friends could read so fast. And I also only dislike romance novels. When it comes to movies, like, I enjoy rom-coms. So my dislike for romance isn't a blanket dislike of all romance. It's just specifically romance novels. And about 2 years ago, ContraPoints released a video on Twilight. And that video really helped things click in my head. The reason I don't like romance is because a lot of romance tropes, or historically romance tropes, are rooted in purity culture. And that's just not something I am interested in reading. Like tropes like the forced marriage or the what's essentially rape but not addressed as rape in the book because she's really into it. It's all these things that allows the FMC to be sexual, to have sex without, but still maintain this level of purity because she didn't really want it, she was forced. But judging all romance based off of that stereotype of romance books that I invented, and that might have been true historically speaking, but it definitely isn't the case anymore, isn't fair. And the thing is, I have read romance books that I do like. So one of my favorite authors is Ashley Poston. Like, Among the Beasts and Briars is one of my favorite YA fantasy books of all time. And she also wrote the Once Upon a Con series, which is a YA romance series centered around this convention for this sci-fi show. And I really enjoyed that series. Part of it is that series is also fairy tale retellings, and fairy tale retellings and romance kind of work well together, because with fairy tales there usually is a romance in them. And then because I like Ashley Poston so much, when she switched to writing adult contemporary romance, I followed her and I read Dead Romantics, which I loved, and 7 Year Slip, which was just okay. And then I haven't read any of her books since 7 Year Slip. She's had released 2 more since then, I believe. I also recently read A Gentleman's Gentleman by T.J. Alexander, which I loved. It was my favorite book of January. So clearly, some romance books I do really enjoy. Like, to be fair, when I say I loved a romance books, I'm not judging it on the same scale I would judge, say, a fantasy book. When I say I love a fantasy book, it means I'm going to reread this and think about it a lot. When I say I love a romance book, it means I really enjoyed the experience of reading this, but I probably won't reread it, but I'll recommend it to other people. What is it about the romance books that I have enjoyed that makes me enjoy them? And I've realized they all have something in common. They're all pretty plot heavy. Like, the Once Upon a Con series, as I said, is fairy tale retellings. The first book is Cinderella, the second is The Prince and the Pauper, and the third is Beauty and the Beast. So there's, on top of like the romance, is this whole other plot going on. And same with Dead Romantics. There's a whole story of the main character going home to plan her father's funeral. And with A Gentleman's Gentleman, the main character, Christopher, is doing the London season because he has to find a wife before his 25th birthday, otherwise he loses his inheritance. So there is a lot of focus on the plot, and you have the main character and the love interest falling in love alongside with the plot, but they don't really get together until the end. So that means I've noticed two things. I like when my romances have a very meaty plot to bite into, and I also seem to like a more slow burn romance, where it's not the main characters are immediately attracted to each other and get together, and then there's just a whole bunch of sex scenes throughout the book. That I'm not interested in. I like when there's more of a slow burn. They're getting to know each other. They maybe become friends, and then they realize they have feelings for each other and get together at the very end. So really, it's not that I don't like romance. It's I don't like certain types of romance, but there are other types that I do really enjoy. So I guess I just need to focus on reading slow burn romance if from here on out to get enjoyment out of reading romance. Okay. What are your thoughts on the romance genre? If you liked the video, hit the like button and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching and have a good rest of your day.